As I channel this message, I pay way to all the witches that came here before me and who have paved the way for us to practice our craft today. They endured persecution, discrimination, and suppression of their beliefs, but their strength and courage has ensured that their magic lives on. Let's call upon the spirit of our ancestors, the elements, and the natural world to guide us on our path. As we harness the power of the moon and the stars and draw upon the energy of the earth, we can awaken our inner magic and embrace our true power of sovereignty. As witches, we are the keepers of the ancient wisdom and knowledge passed down through generations. Let us honor and preserve the wisdom and continue to learn and grow so that we may use our magic to bring light and healing to the world. May the power of our intentions manifest in the physical realm, and may we always walk with the guidance and protection of our spirits and guides. So mote it be. Today, I want to talk about something very sacred, our role as a mother and being a woman, the caretaker of also the great mother. When our worlds of being woman right now is subject to such a distortion reality. Women are divine humans, divine beings with innate connection to the sacred. Yet in today's world, it is challenging for women to embrace their sacredness fully by the many narratives that have kept us disconnected from our sovereign self. Many of us feel disconnected from our bodies, our emotions, and our spiritual selves. The truth is, this is how the shadow of the collective, the dark agenda, wants us to feel. It is us that needs to rise and reconnect to who we are as sacred beings. Being a woman is a sacred gift. It is an opportunity to tap into your inner goddess and connect with the divine energy within us. And somehow, in this physical world, we've lost all of that. The word woman and being a woman is somehow now controversial. And because of that, now women are contracting from spaces and places due to feeling unsafe, unable to speak. We're losing our identity. And in my mind, surely other women are starting to question, what the fuck is going on? We've entered a new phase of distortion in our collective. We're to question the truth. You are not only labeled, you are now subject to online abuse. And in some cases in this country, physical abuse. As we saw at the Let Women Speak event in Auckland. And the hatred from our trans community and our female politicians towards women, I thought to myself, how the hell did we get here? Through everything that we have endured as females, to be here in the present, from all the women that have stood before us, the suffragettes, the witches, the people of color, for us as women to have a space in the world, a place in the world, a platform in our governments, institutions, establishments, systems. How did we get here? How did we get to the space where it is acceptable for another woman to be shouted at, ridiculed, shut down for thinking differently? When did we stop listening to each other? When did we think it was acceptable to start hating each other? Why do we continually keep hurting each other at the cost of another woman's view? This is not the system I want to live in. This is the patriarchal system of what women stood against, what we need to come and stand against again, shoulder to shoulder. It is now turning on us. Women are turning on us, on each other. I feel this topic is so complex and it has so many facets to it that the true reality is we're not going to unpick it all here today and sing kumbaya and everything be fixed. But as a woman, a mother, a deeply grounded, sacred soul, we need to start having real conversations and listening to people's concerns, as that's how we grow and deepen into our spiritual maturity. For myself as a mother and a woman, my concerns about the safety of our children and other women around me as we enter this new phase of our reality in our collective world, I have concerns. As someone who worked for victim support and women's refuge as a counsellor, feeling unsafe is unfortunately a common experience many women in this country feel, whether it be in their homes, their personal lives, public spaces, and workplaces. Women feel unsafe. And it can have such a profound effect on our mental health and our physical well-being. We feel unsafe for so many variety of different reasons. Through our own personal lived experience around sexual harassment, assault and violence, past traumas, society views, the devaluing of women and women's and the roles that we play. These experiences can lead to so much fear, anxiety, and helplessness, and can truly stop a woman's ability to live her life to her fullest. With the changes of the new ideology and the laws that are going to come into effect in this country, our changing rooms for women and toilets will in fact now have trans women and men that identifies that gender can just come on in. We're starting to see this overseas. We're starting to see women's sports overseas. Trans women compete in the same arena as us. How do we feel about that? And the fact that the new terminology for a pedophile has changed to minor attracted and is normalized grooming and a sexual act with children that is now normalizing and being normalized, not only in the outer world, but in our education system. How do we feel about that? I question the narrative and the true co-creation. Unfortunately, people can't see that this ideology is creating the creation of a new wave of children and young people where their voices are for hire. Belief systems, identity, and the ideology is paid for by the elites, World Economic Forum, and who benefits? Big Pharma, at the cost of society values and the well-being of our children and young people as a whole, where the innocence is being taken away of them just truly experiencing themselves. There are so many working elements to this dark agenda. And remember, if you've been following me for a while, I've been very clear. It's not you and me they're after, it's our children. And I don't want this to be an us and them narrative of this ideology to what's going to limit us from seeing each other and respectfully hearing each other's views and working together. When we limit a view and label ourselves or label people, we are suppressing us as people. We now not only need to fit into a box about my authenticity, my my cultural ethicity, can't say the word today, and the color of my skin, we now have to put ourselves in a box and label ourselves as a her, she, them, they, woman, cis woman. Ultimately, we can label ourselves with whatever needs to be labeled, but is it really going to change the fact that people feel unsafe in their day-to-day daily lives? No. Now we're under this new indoctrination of society where a woman's voice, woman's roles, woman's biology, and woman's rights doesn't matter at the cost of allowing another human's rights feel equal. So why a woman under attack? Isn't this body autonomy? Remember that conversation 2 years ago? Same words, different thread now. Is it that they don't really want us to connect to our bodies? The place that holds the sacred knowledge, the creator of life? My question is, how do we allow all people to feel safe? Shouldn't that be the question being asked? How do we create equality for all? And one would have thought It starts with by not suppressing another human. I believe our system knows what it's doing. I believe our system also doesn't have the capacity or the capability to hold the sacred space for this type of expansion in its thinking. So, we must. We must as women, not only for ourselves, but for what is being co-created for our country, for our future generations, but most of all, for us as women. Our society values and beliefs are now under threat by an ideology that is coming from the World Economic Forum. We, as women, must reconnect back to our roots and find our voice. The World Economic Forum, it can create as many genders as it likes, as many labels as it likes, but the sacredness of me as a being, you can't take my innate knowing. You can't have that. That's gifted to me by simply being the gender of a woman. So if we stop for a minute and take a breath and ask ourselves, why are women under attack? When consciousness is rising, when we are ascending, when light is cracking. Why is it us? Why is it that every time humanity shifts energetically, it's at the cost of a woman? Why do you think women are being suppressed? Is it because of our untapped power that we have within us, our innate knowing, our intuition? And if women rose rooted and grounded in all of their creation, what type of world would we live in? If women were allowed to embody their sacredness and lead. Oh my God, this is something that I feel into every day. For me, it would look like harmony, unity, love, compassion, equal rights, community, connection. It would bring so much balance and harmony into the distorted world right now. But there is also a deepening space for the men, for the masculine, and allowing us to find our space and our balance. So we women need to reconnect back to our sacred role. So when I feel into this, the sacred role as a woman is the caretaker of earth, the nurturers and the glue that holds the families and the community together. So let's start there. Let's start with the role of the caretaker of earth. Women through centuries have been the caretakers of earth. Women have often been the ones who hold a deep understanding of connectiveness of all of life on the planet and recognize the importance of living aligned in harmony with nature. This connection to the earth is not only about preserving the environment, but also about preserving the cultural heritage and traditional knowledge that has been passed down through the generations. Women have been the ones who have carried forward this knowledge, the sacred wisdom, and have played a crucial role in ensuring that it is not lost. Within the herbs, medicines, the cycle of the moon, the red tent ceremonies, circling together and gathering food for our community over the centuries, through the many injustices that have occurred on this land, we have experienced as women, and also now that we've become a world of corporations and corruption that has raped and pillaged our land, we have created a wasteland. A wasteland of the Great Mother. As a witch, a priestess, a divine being that is so connected to the land and the surroundings around me, I see the wasteland as a powerful symbol of the consequences of humanity's reckless and unsustainable practice. The destruction of ecosystems, and that has depleted our natural resources, and that has led to the creation of barrenless, lifeless landscapes, reminding us of the importance of the environmental stewardship, caretaker roles, and the need to protect Earth, the Great Mother. In many ways, the wastelands are manifested of the shadow side of the human nature, our desire for power and control that has led us to exploiting the earth's resources without any regard for long-term consequences, resulting in the destruction of species, plants, the raping of the soil, and our water resources. The same power and control is now in full display and dysfunction for mankind all to see. We are the target. The human being is building the same desire as it has taken over the land. It desires to take over the people. And as we see and experience the wastelands on Mother Earth, we within us can refer to the inner landscape of our psyche, our intuition, our knowing, ourselves that have become barren, disassociated, disconnected from life. These inner wastelands can manifest emotional wounds, physiological scars, that emptiness of our own knowing and spiritual connection. And they can be just as devastating as the physical wasteland that exists here right now on Earth around us. The wasteland within us can be created by a variety of factors: trauma, grief, loss, neglect, our lived experiences, the need to need more, the keeping up with the Joneses, the system we live in, where we want all of it now. It's never enough. So we continually strive on the treadmill to be better, to get better, to buy the house, to fill the gap, but we never really get there. And this can cause disconnection, isolation, loneliness, shame, despair. And I feel many people right now on the planet feel like they're the hamster on the wheel, showing up at the cost of themselves. And over time, if we don't address this within ourselves, the wastelands, It can grow and spread, creating a barren, lifeless inner landscape where we never get to experience joy, meaning, and purpose. That then leads us to depression, anxiety, despair, and makes it difficult for us to connect and find meaning in our lives as a whole. Just as we see the wastelands in our physical world can heal and be restored, so can the wastelands within us through deep self-reflection, spiritual practice, discernment, and reverence. We can begin to heal our inner wounds and cultivate a more vibrant way of being and thriving in our own inner landscape. This does involve confronting difficult emotions, working through trauma, healing, developing new habits and a new way of thinking, helping us connect more deeply with ourselves and others, connecting to a spiritual practice or a belief system that can help you find meaning and purpose in your life. The wastelands within us are here to remind us that the healing is a journey and that we have the power to transform even the most barren parts of ourselves into something beautiful and full of life. By working to heal our inner wasteland, we can create a more vibrant and connected world, both for us and for those around us and for Mother Earth. But first, we need to take responsibility and see what needs to change within us for us to have the ripple effect and change what's outside of us. We need to take brave action. And I've been there. I've been there, that hamster on the wheel. And so I know the depth of courage you have to go to bring about change. And as witches, we can harness the power of the natural world to help us heal our wounds of the wasteland. Through rituals, through spells, through magic, we can channel energy, the elements, the spirits of nature to help restore and balance and harmonize the damaged ecosystems. We can help create a culture of reverence and deep respect for Mother Earth and also ourselves. And I believe that this is the first step in honoring us and reconnecting back to the sacredness of who we are as women. Another is honoring our physical, emotional processes that women go through. Menopause, pregnancy, childbirth, menstruation. These experiences can be so challenging for us when we reach this notion and change in our lives and our womanhood, but they can also be deeply transformational and connect us as women not only to the natural cycles of life, but the cycles of life here on earth as a season, as animals, and connect us more deeper to our wisdom. We must remember that we cycle with the Great Mother in the cosmic realms, as this is our ability that no other gender has a gateway to. And when we recognize the power and stand in our full sovereignty as a being of the feminine energy that women embody and own that space in the world, that's a woman feared. That's when women can bring radical change. This energy is often associated with our intuition, empathy, and compassion. And connecting to your intuition can be so powerful. To tap into your inner wisdom and make decisions that are aligned with your true nature and desires and values can be transformational for you as a human being. Quite often, you never like the message or what you're being told, but that's called spiritual maturity. And that's when we step into our wisdom and can grow. So here are some tips for those that are wanting to connect more to their intuition. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness through meditation can help you quieten your mind and become more aware of your thoughts and emotions. This can also increase your awareness and can help you recognize messages, the way your body's feeling, and bring and have a deeper connection to your intuition that's sending you messages daily. Pay attention to your body. My body is a temple. Your body can often provide you with so many clues of what your intuition is telling you. When your energy feels expanded and when your energy feels contracted. Knowing just that simple thing, what expands your energy field, what lights you up, what makes your heart sing and your energy field flow, and what contracts your energy, what makes your energy small, what makes you want to shrink back and hide. Paying attention to any of these physical sensations, such as tension, relaxation, the way you breathe, the way you feel around someone, can help you make decisions in certain situations, and your body is always giving you cues. Journaling. So for the many people that have worked with me one-on-one and done my reset, realign, reactivate, they know that journaling is part of the sacred gateway for a deeper conversation with your higher self and your intuitive knowing. And I believe this is a skill that everyone has and be able to tap into their intuition. So take a few minutes each day to reflect on your experiences, write down any insight, any intuitive hunches you had. Start asking yourself questions like, how am I to show up in the world? What am I here to co-create? How can I bring more of my light forward? Who am I? What is my soul calling? It is the most simple and effective tool that we all have. You might not like what you start writing about, and it might not make any bloody sense, which quite often mine never does. And then all of a sudden it's like, there's that feeling. There's that feeling. Okay, I've got to show up. This whole podcast was that feeling of, am I really going to say that? Can I just tone down the message slightly? No, Lily, you're saying it. So here we are, we're saying it. And I felt so uncomfortable speaking this message, so uncomfortable. But I also know it's my growth and it's where my expansion is and it's where my wisdom wants to take me. Listen to your dreams. Right now on earth, we are getting so many messages from the external, from the collective, from the mass programming that is happening, that the only way our guides, our loved ones, our intuition can find a moment of peace is in dream state. And dreams can be powerful sources of intuition and insight. So I would definitely, if you have a dream, get a dream journal. Write it down. Start recording your dreams every morning and starting to see if there's a pattern or symbols that have meaningfulness to you. Right now, as our consciousness on the planet is rising to a higher frequency, our guides, our knowing, our intuition is definitely giving us information during dream state, especially with all the eclipse and the new moon and Aquarius going into Pluto and all the cosmic changes that we have in the outer realms, I'll just say. Our dream states are going to become more and more activated. And here's something, the most powerful tool. Trust yourself. Trust yourself to be the own guru and teacher of your life. Trust yourself. Trust yourself enough to follow your own hunches, your own intuition, your own gut feeling, your own knowing. Practice listening to your inner voice. Start asking yourself deeper questions. Stop listening to the noise. Trust yourself. Remember that intuition is such a personal process and it takes time and practice. It doesn't all just come flooding in at once. I wish it would, but it doesn't. Be patient with yourself. Love yourself. Trust that in time you will learn to access and trust your intuition more fully. Regardless how you see yourself as a sacred woman, and I see myself as a sacred woman, it is really clear that right now women have a unique and vital role to play in the world. Women have the ability to create life, nurture relationships, foster connection, and empower communities. They also have a deeper understanding of the connectiveness of all the things which are essential for creating a sustainable and harmonious world. Despite the many gifts that we as women bring to this world, we have historically been undervalued and suppressed. Women have been excluded from positions of power, denied education, opportunities, and we've been subject to violence and discrimination for years. And now we are reliving these times if we allow ourselves to. I encourage every woman right now to step forward. Find your voice and come out of the shadows. Let's stand together and rise together. Together, we will reconnect, not only to ourselves, but to our inner wisdom and sacredness. To truly honor the sacredness of being a woman, we must work to create a world where women are valued, respected, and empowered. This means working to dismantle the patriarchal system, the structures that have really kept us from having inequality and suppression, and creating spaces where all of us, every human being, can thrive and have full potential. We can create that world that truly honors the sacredness of being a woman and leave a better footprint on earth And so, with my closing circle, the sacredness of being a woman, close your eyes and placing your hand on your heart. The sacredness of being a woman. It is a truth that runs deep. It's a power within us that we must keep. We are strong and resilient in ways that only we know. Our beauty is unmatched. Our love, it overflows. We bring life into the world and we nurture it and care. Our bodies are vessels of creation and our sacredness is rare. We stand tall in the face of adversity and never back down from a fight. Our voices echo through the ages as we demand what is right. The sacredness of being a woman is a force that cannot be contained. It's a flame that burns within us that will never be tamed. And so let's stand together and embrace our sacredness with pride. For we are the bearers of life and the keepers of the divine. So much love, people. Have a phenomenal day and remember who you are.